I'm gonna be honest, guys. As life's going on, man, and as my life is unfolding, and as I have the opportunity to do what I have to do in my life, whether that be through my wife, whether that be through my job, whether that is just where I'm at in life. I like starting the podcast off just with a little song, man, where I really don't say nothing, and I kind of just sit back and appreciate it. That was Grateful by Elevation Worship. Shout out to my beautiful wife because she has put me onto that Christian music, man, and I don't know why, but it just feels really fitting to have some Christian music going on before I really get out here and kind of get out here and get to start talking and get to rambling and yeah, like he said that last week, but I don't. It felt really right to start off because I am grateful. I'm grateful for everything, and it sure does feel good to be here. I may not be the richest motherfucker in the world, but I sure am grateful to be in my position right now, and it sure is a blessing. It sure really is a blessing to be here, and I had to make sure you guys knew that I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for everyone who listened to our first ever podcast episode. It felt really good. It felt really good. Honestly, I'm like 1,000% more relaxed now. We just got done streaming a bit ago. So it's just like, it's just the same old, same old. We turned off Tarkov and we just put the camera on. And honestly, it's kind of crazy because no one in the chat actually told me, no one that watched the podcast told me through Spotify. I didn't realize that you guys could see me. I thought that was just so I could get the audio and sit it into Anchor. But somebody told me, it was Bravo who said, I saw you on Spotify. I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean? I haven't even uploaded the visual yet to YouTube so you can see it. So now I know. I didn't realize that this was becoming a podcast with a visual. I thought it was only audio, but now you can, if you want to see the visual, you can watch it on Spotify or you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It is Barry Bucketz with the Z, and the first episode of the podcast is up there with visuals if you want to go back and check it out. This episode, it will be on Spotify as well, and this one will also have the visual uploaded to our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to sit here and you're sitting here watching, you're like, damn, he need a haircut. I'm getting a haircut next week. I've been chilling. I really didn't want to go get a haircut. Getting a haircut next week, so maybe the next episode you see me, I might have a clean, fresh fade. Shout out to E-Fades, but I probably won't. But I'm going to have a haircut soon. I'll look a little bit more professional. I know I ain't looking as professional right now, so hey, if you judge me off the professionalism of how I look, all right, but look, anyways, hope my mom didn't see that. But once again, guys, welcome into the podcast. This is the Bucketz list with Barry Bucketz, Barry Teeler with Barry, and just wanted to welcome everybody in today. Once again, getting that, it just feels good to be out here. It feels good to be able to just get out here, get on the platform, and just start talking. Like I said, I'm a professional talker, and there's no better feeling than just talking. So here I am. But first things first, you guys. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It is Friday, depending on when you listen to this. I don't know. We've already talked about it like in the last episode. Friday night is the best night of the entire week. Enjoy your Friday. Don't think about work on Monday. Go out there, have a good Friday. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Have some drinks. Go with some friends. Sit at the house with the wife and kids. Man, whatever you guys want to do, please be safe tonight. There's no better feeling than knowing you made it through another work week. Congratulations. Pop your beer open. Crack that wine open. Get that pit going. And, hey, man, I'm just letting you know, down here in Texas, man, the best barbecue in the world. Now, I know you're saying, well, hey, my dad got the best barbecue. Whoever's listening to this, I know you say that you cook the best barbecue. You're probably lying to yourself. But to anybody watching, please shoot me a message. Shoot me a DM. I am sampling all barbecue. Throughout this Texas area. If you know me personally, hey, man, ain't nothing like some barbecue, baby. I think barbecue might be my favorite food. Because, like, does steak count as barbecue? I feel like it could. I don't really view steak as like barbecue, but if steak counts as barbecue, it's 100% a wrap because barbecue and steak, man. With a potato. Ooh, as y'all can see, I ain't really ate yet, so I'm saving dinner for later. So hopefully I get me something good today, because man, some ribs will really go crazy right now. Some ribs sound crazy. Baked potato too, extra butter, throw some bacon and cheese on it. But you got to throw the cheese on the top, let it. My bad. You know what? Hey, I didn't know we were getting into food this early, man, but I just got like super hungry. And so maybe as I'm going home, I might stop at Southside, give me some barbecue. Sounds good. But anyways, guys, once again, man, welcome back to episode 2. I'm happy you guys can make it out. Once again, shout out to all of our people who checked us out and watched our first episode. You guys gave me a huge morale boost, knowing that I was at least talking to a couple of people that was not myself. Because when you think about it, it's pretty weird. Like, I'm sitting here talking to myself. Like, I'm staring at a screen right now. I have some stuff up on it, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking to myself right now, and granted, we'll probably have some co-hosts and we'll probably have some, some visitors come in and some people come in the future, to keep these conversations fresh. But I felt like for these first couple episodes, man, I really wanted to focus on, you guys really getting to see me and know me for who I am. Maybe you only know me through the stream. Maybe you only know me in real life. Maybe you only know me, maybe you know me on one side but not the other. So hopefully you guys can really get to know me and who I really am as a person. Not only whether it's playing games, whether it was on the basketball court, whether it was in school, whether it's through a camera, but you kind of get to see a different version of me. And I really am excited to kind of just continue to express this and continue to go through this. Once again, shout out to my beautiful wife, because she kind of told me, she kind of was like, go do it, so shout out to her. I tell you what, man, she's huge. And honestly, I haven't given her enough credit. I haven't given her enough support lately. Maybe not support, but I haven't really bragged on her enough. I haven't bragged on how great my wife is, man. Let me just tell you. Everybody knows that me and Madison have been together since 8th grade, Middle school sweethearts, Most people don't make it, the odds, but, middle school sweethearts. It'll be 11 years on October 15th. We went to high school together, went to college together, graduated twice together, just completely living our life with one another. I've lived over half of my life with Madison by my side, and she has just been, she's amazing. And, to all my people out there, man, if you got that significant other, if you have that partner, if you have that person that, you rely on, make sure you appreciate them no matter what. Make sure you tell them how much you love them, how much you appreciate them. I got Madison some flowers yesterday. I'm not going to lie, man. I usually get like the $10 to $15 flowers, man, because usually those are the ones that I usually get. Those are the ones I always get. But HEB didn't have them yesterday. But I drove all the way to HEB to get these flowers for my wife. I was like, you know what? I've always loved getting Madison flowers. I feel like the way that I express, my love for her and for my wife is through gifts. I love giving her gifts. They don't have to be expensive gifts, but just small things to tell her that I really, really appreciate her. And I'm just super proud of her. And so, I went to Walmart. I went to HEB. I got the flowers and I got over there and I was like, well, half the time when you go get flowers, they're really kind of ugly. Like 3/4 of the flowers are ugly. And then you have those flowers that look good, but are kind of expensive. And so let me just tell you guys, I'm not going to say how much I spent on the flowers, but I didn't get the cheap flowers yesterday. Now, was it willingly? Probably not, but it doesn't matter because I got my wife the good flowers. So then she puts them in the vase, she cuts them up, she makes them look all, she makes them look all pretty and stuff. And I'm like, thank you. But I just hope, I haven't bragged on her enough. She's not very active on social media. She hates when I take pictures of her. But I just want to say, man, I really, really, really appreciate her. I couldn't imagine my life and my world without her. And, she makes me every bit of a better man, a better person. And, she sure does make me happy. So to all my men out there, hey, and this even applies for women, hey, you know what? Make sure you appreciate your spouse. Make sure you appreciate your loved ones because, hey, you just never know, and I want to make sure today, whoever watches this, make sure you shoot your significant other a message, sharing, expressing how much you love them. Make sure you send your grandmother a message, your mother a message, your sister, your brother, whoever. Just make sure someone knows that maybe that you weren't going to say. Just let them know how much you love them and appreciate them, because life is crazy, life is weird, and you never know. You just never know. So you never want to regret. You never want to end on a bad note. If you got that relationship that, it may be a little rocky right now, patch it up, just get over that small stuff. Life's too short. You say you look at 100 years, most people don't make it to 100 years, but, you look at 100 years of life, and hell, I'm 24 already, man. I'm at my best. If you make it to 100, you're fairly blessed. At my best, I'd probably say 100. It ain't looking like I'm getting over 100. So I'm 24 years old. I'm nearly a quarter of the way done with my life. Tomorrow could be my last day. You never know. All right. You never know. So just be grateful and make sure you express how you feel. Don't wait for them, or don't assume that they know. Don't assume that, just let them know. Don't let, just get it on with. Let them know, tell them. And I don't even know if Madison's going to watch this, but I think I just wanted like a 15-minute rant about my wife. And let me just tell you, I could talk about her all fucking day. She is spectacular. She really does. She deserves like that, like, can we just call her like SuperMadison? Can we call her that? Like SuperMadison. She's just amazing. I mean, she works a full-time job, of course, right? Works a full-time job. Dog mom of the year, keeps the house spotless, cooks. She does everything. I'm thinking, the only thing she doesn't do is cut the grass, and that's my job. But, other than that, she, buys stuff that we need for the house. She supports me and on my long list of endeavors that I like to pursue, whether it's through streaming, whether it's through starting a podcast, whether it's through, being a coach, helping the local kids out here. She just supports me through everything. And trust me, she deserves way more than a podcast shout out. She deserves everything in the world and 20 times more. So, I hope I feel like I'm doing a good job, but you know what? I need to do better. All right. I think we all know there's something in anything in life, there's something that we always know we could do better at. And I think I can be a better husband to her no matter what. So sometimes it's okay to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I can improve on this. So I need to improve on making sure that my wife knows how much I love her and how much I appreciate her. Because it's one thing to say it on this podcast, right? So people will listen. That's one thing, but it's another thing to go out there and make it happen. So today, for all of my people who are saying, damn, he talking to me, go make it happen. I don't know what you got to do. Only you know what your wife or your significant other loves. Make it happen today. Just go get it. All right, make it happen. You don't even got to go spend any. You don't have to spend money. Never feel like you have to go spend $1,000 to make your partner happy, because it's never about that. Whenever it comes to love, whenever it comes to marriage, whenever it comes to being with somebody you care about, it's the small things. It's the small things that they appreciate. So I need to make sure I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna make sure the dishes are done, and I'm gonna do the laundry today, because she does that as well. So well, if she hasn't already did it, but if she hasn't already did it, y'all, I promise you, I'm going to get that laundry done today. All right. So just take something off their plate, make it easier for them so they don't feel like they are being drowned in life, because at times, it feels like we are being drowned in life. Life is busy. Me and Madison don't have any children right now at the moment. I'm sure some people in who are listening to this, you might be a kid. You might be an adult who has some kids, and whenever you have children, everything becomes amplified, and so much more responsibilities are on your plate. But I can assure you, I know for a fact she's also going to be a super mother as well. But make sure you take something off their plate, chat, or listeners, I should say, and make sure you just try to help them as much as you can, because life sure is short. And I'd hate for one of you, myself included, to not have the time or not have the ability to make things happen for your significant other, because they're everything. You know, there's no me without Madison. For the rest of my life, I couldn't imagine. It's just it. That's just when you think of Barry Bucketz, Barry Teeler, or BJ Teeler, BJ Barry, Madison is the first person that comes to mind. You know, it's her. I didn't know I was dedicating this episode to my beautiful wife, but today I am, and y'all have it on note here. It's gonna be on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music. You know, you're gonna see it now. You're gonna see it. I got it written down in transcript. I have to go do that laundry today. The grass is good. I did it last week, and let me just tell you, we're gonna just keep things rolling. One more time, shout out to Madison. Oh, I just love her so much. She is the best, and thank you so much, baby. As we were saying though, we're gonna hit a 180 here. We're gonna switch directions here because one of my responsibilities is the grass. All right, and you know, as some of you know, we got into a new spot. And this spot has a front yard and backyard. And I'm gonna be honest, chat. Growing up, I had my brother Zay with me here. We lived together. I had my stepdad here, and so my stepdad was real anal about his grass. All right, he liked it done a certain way. He wanted it to, and that's fine. You know, I hear that cutting grass is what some say. It's like a man's me time. It's like a man's personal time to where they can be by themselves, not be bothered. They say a man's yard reflects who the man is, right? They say, you know, you'll know who they are based off their yard. You know, is it dirty? Is it edged properly? Did you go on a straight line? Does it look good? And so, you know, my stepfather, he was really anal about his yard, and I'm gonna be honest, chat, he cut it himself. I really never had to cut the yard. I cut it a couple times, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I think it was like junior year. I don't know, 17, 18. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I fucked up the yard, man. It was bad. It was like lopsided. It was cut down. It was bad. Okay, I messed it up. I hit something on the mower, and it got like really tough to push. And for all of my mower men in the chat, or mower people in general, so you got like different grass modes, how low you want to cut it or how high you want to cut it. So it was preset to a certain one, right? But I guess, I don't know if I caught something or I hit something. I don't know what happened, but whatever happened, I hit that trigger, and so it made the grass start getting cut way too low. So it was like I was scalping that backyard, man. That backyard looked bald. It was like as bald as Mike Higgs 2019. Shout out to my boy in Australia. My fault, Higgs. It was bald. I mean, it was bare bald. It was bad. And I said, watch. That's his name. I said, man, halfway through, that mower got real tough to push, man. Like, I don't know what happened, but I might have did something. And so he came downstairs and just looked. I can't even describe how he looked, but he looked at the backyard. He said, looked at me, 17-year-old me, just like sweating with my earphones on. And he said, what did you do? I said, what you mean? I cut your grass. What are you talking about? I cut your grass. That's what you told me to do. You said cut the backyard. He said, thank you, son. And let me just tell you, that was the last time that I ever cut his grass. He never asked me. He never hinted at it. He never asked me to do anything regarding the lawns. I think in the nicest way possible, I was fired from cutting the. I was fired. He pretty much said no. And so, like I said, you know, that was probably my junior or senior in high school. So that was 2015, 2016, depending on how you look at it. All right, fast forward to now, y'all. If you guys haven't realized yet, because fuck, time is fast. We're in 2022 now, okay? So since then, right, I went on to graduate college with my undergrad, you know, business management degree. A year and a half later, I graduated with my master's degree. It was last December. And so fast forward now, me and Madison, we're in a home now. So now I have the responsibility of cutting my own grass for the first time in, I don't know, 6 years minimum. Like, I mean, it's been 6 years since I've cut a lawn, man. It probably is longer. And let me tell you this, whenever I was, whenever I, like you guys said, my last time that I mowed, I just had to mow the back. I never had to weed eat. I just simply mowed it. And I was fine at mowing, but clearly that day I fucked up. But so, over here, I didn't have to weed eat. I just pushed it. But, clearly I was fired from that job. So here we are at my place now. And so now, I'm responsible. I'm a man, quote unquote. I don't really feel like a man sometimes, but I'm a man. I gotta do the man shit. And so I had to mow the yard. And so I want to say I started mowing the yard at about, I had to assume 5:15. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all. We have a very slopey yard, so there's a decent amount of slope there, meaning, you gotta push and pull, and you gotta go up and down. We got some curves, we got some plants in there, got some trees, so you gotta go around them. And let me just say, I did the front, I did the sides. I made sure to not go into my neighbor's yard. Wanted to make sure, be mindful. This is the first time the grass is being cut at this house since we moved in. So this is the first time that I'm cutting the yard, and it needed an edge up. The yard needed some work. It looked bad. You never, to all my people, homeowners, renters, whatever you are, whoever is in a home, don't be that neighbor, man. Don't be that neighbor where your grass is all long, where your grass is crooked, where your grass is ugly. If your grass is dying, that's okay. Here in our area, we're going through we're going through a drought right now. So we were on water restrictions. So if your grass isn't green, I understand that. But man, don't have your grass looking all, like a snake. I mean, come on, man. That's like that's definitely a responsibility as a homeowner. And I'm not saying that you have to cut it yourself. I'm just saying, get it taken care of. Get it taken care of. And so me, I was thinking, well, I'm gonna call somebody, cut my yard. And I was thinking to myself, like, well, we got this place now. I feel obligated. I need to cut my own yard. That's kind of like your manlyhood, my yard, I gotta cut it. I gotta cut my yard. Many men in the past said that, hey, mowing my yard, fixing my yard is my peaceful time. So I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, I got off streaming last Saturday, and I said, I'm gonna go cut this yard. I'm gonna get this yard right. I'm gonna make it good, and I'm gonna be happy when I'm done. It shouldn't take too long. All right. And before I continue this conversation, let me just tell you guys, never cut the yard on a Saturday. Never. Don't ask me why. Do not cut your yard on a Saturday, at least in the evening. If you cut it in the morning, okay, that makes sense. I cut my yard at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, 5:30, give or take. Let me just tell you, killed my whole Saturday night. But hold on now. We'll get to that part now. And so, right, so we're sitting there I'm sitting there cutting this grass, right? We get it. I cut the front. I cut the back. I got it all taken care of, and that was fine. It took a little bit. I'm not gonna say it wasn't necessarily. I don't have the biggest front yard, but the backyard is pretty solid size. And like I said, it was pretty high, so it needed to be trimmed down. And so you had to get in there a couple of times, and we got some trees and stuff in the back, and you got a shed you gotta watch out for. So I got it taken care of. I almost got attacked by some bees, but we'll save that for another day. They didn't attack me. I think it was some wasps, actually, not some bees. And so we got it all taken care of, and I got it done, the mowing part. And so here I am, right? Now I got a weed eat. And now if you think back, a couple minutes before this story started, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and I'm saying this when I want to be as transparent as possible. I have never weed eated in my life. I've never had to weed eat. My dad never made me weed eat. My stepdad never made me weed eat. My grandpa, I never had to weed eat. I've never used a weed eater before. So I got some weed eater tutorials the day before, how to hold it and all this and that, how to turn it on. And I'm gonna be honest, for my first time, I may or may not have tangled the wire up on the weed eater, but nevertheless though, I got my yard looking solid. It was looking solid. Could it have been better? So we had an edger. I got an edger, but I was scared to use the edger because it looked really intimidating. and I didn't want to get out the extension cord and the weed eater. Of course, you don't need an extension cord for a weed eater. So I was weed eating, getting the sides, and like I said, it was really, really long. So those corners, they had a lot of grass. So I was scared a fucking snake was gonna pop out, and I'm terrified of snakes. If you guys know me, I don't mess with snakes, bro. I don't want nothing to do with snakes. Snakes are scary. Snakes are scary. I don't want anything to do with snakes. All right, so I just want, no. Anyways, all right, so we got it taken care of. Let me just tell y'all, man. I probably mowed in maybe 35 minutes, maybe. Bro, weed eating was so exhausting, and I can't even explain. I wish Madison took a picture of me, bro. I was absolutely drenched. I was tired. My back started cramping up. I was up just hitting the fence, hitting every corner. We got a lot of places. I don't think you guys understand. The parts that needed to be weed eated in the backyard and on the side of the house, they were long. Once again, this is my first time mowing at this new place. No telling, the family before us probably didn't mow before they left. I don't imagine they did. Meaning that, okay, so it's been probably give or take 2 months that it needed to be mowed. You can imagine if you guys let your lawns, give or take sit for 2 months, you're going to imagine how long it's going to be, how those corners, it was bad. It was really bad. And long story short, for all of my men out there, for all of my women out there, for all of my young men out there, take it from me, who's 24 years old and weed eated for the first time ever as a 24-year-old, weed eating needs to be something that your child or your son, your nephew needs to know how to do. Because I figured it out. Did I struggle turning it on at times? That one, yeah, I had to call my brother. Did I struggle because I couldn't realize how to get that good angle so it could be straight? Yeah. Did I struggle because the line got tangled up and I probably messed up the weed eater a little bit? Yes. But did I finish that yard and did I feel like a champion? No, not really. I think the next time I get my yard cut, I'm definitely going to just call somebody to do it because it wasn't worth 2 hours of my time on a Saturday. Granted, maybe next time I won't do it on a Saturday, but I don't think it was worth it. But nevertheless, all young men, all men growing up, I know you don't want to go mow the lawn. I know you probably don't want to do it. I know you're saying, why do I got to do it? Listen, man, take it from me, a 24-year-old big ass baby. Man, get out there, mow that lawn, man. Then get the weed eater to finish the job. Because, see, I grew up with my brother, so we split the workload. So if I was to mow back in the day, he would weed eat. It was easier. We'd take turns. But for some reason, they must have known me because I never got the weed eater in my hands. And now looking back on it, well, as you can see, we got the job done. If I would give y'all, most people who probably know me, who probably listen, some of you, if you know me personally, come by the house, man. I feel like I did a solid job. I'm going to give myself about a first time with the weed eater, with the mower, I'm going to give myself about a good 7.9, Am I being a little optimistic there? Probably so, but you know what? I did it myself and I felt accomplished. I felt accomplished more in that yard and I felt like, hey man, I'm really out here doing it. I'm really out here doing it. So I would say one more time, man, learn how to weed eat. One of those things, they always talk about the stuff that schools need to teach you. Taxes and financial literacy and stuff like that. Well, I don't think school needs to teach you, but somebody needs to teach you how to motherfucking use a weed eater because if anybody drove by out there when I was trying to turn that weed eater on, they probably would have laughed at me. But once again, man, it's all good. Because that yard out there looking good now, all right? So, hey, my neighbor's house to the left is cut. My neighbor's house to the right is cut. And now my yard is cut, man. The weeds out the way. It feels good now looking back on it. In that moment, I was tired of shit. But now as I'm looking back, I'm like, hey, I did a solid job. Madison said good job. Felt like a winner. I'm like, damn, I'm really doing this husband shit good. So at least that's the least I could do for my super wife. And so I just had to get that off my chest because the one thing that I was tasked with doing, it took a long time. I damn near did it wrong, but it got done. All right, it got done. So switching gears now, guys, one more time. Just, of course, this podcast is going to be about everything, regarding my life, anything going on. But I feel like you guys know, you see the band in the background. I mean, come on, I'm a huge football fan, and any football fan would want to talk about that game last night. Any football fan want to talk about the game last night. So to all my podcast listeners, if you came in here for the life portion of the podcast, that is probably going to be it for today. But we're going to hop into our little sports segment. And let me just tell you, a casual fan, a diehard fan, football fan in general, getting Justin Herbert and the Chargers to go against Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes on a Thursday night, it doesn't even seem fair, man. To get that game on a Sunday night, on a Thursday night. Thursday is, by the way, one of my favorite days of the week. It was special. It was special. And let me tell you, both of those quarterbacks, man, damn, them boys good, man. I tell you what, I'm going to start off with Justin Herbert. Man played through what they call now, got the results back in. He played through, I don't know if it was one broken, but he definitely has broken ribs, and he's day-to-day now. But Justin Herbert played through broken ribs. Everybody saw that last drive. He was getting beat up. Everybody saw that play. He was scrambling to the right. Couldn't throw the ball because his ribs were just in shambles. Then comes back, delivers a strike up the middle. Forgot who it was. Forgot that guy's name. I want to say he was number 1. It might be like DeAndre Carter, I want to say. I think that's who it was. I could be wrong, though. Put him in prime position. But at that point, they were already down because of the crucial turnover that was caused by the Chargers on the, 2 or 3 yard line, maybe the 1 yard line. I watched the post game, and Tony Gonzalez, I recognized it too because Gerald Everett had went out there, and after he caught the ball right before, he tapped out, but they didn't have anybody because they were running hurry up, so they hurried to the line. Gerald Everett ran a half-ass route, put Justin Herbert in a bad situation. Miscommunication led to a turnover, led to a pick six, and that ultimately sealed the game. And that was tough because, from my perspective, I felt like, well, maybe it was on Justin Herbert, not just Gerald Everett, but also Justin Herbert. But, Tony Gonzalez, an all-time great tight end, said it was really Gerald Everett's fault. Richard Sherman said the same thing too, so you can't argue with those guys when they say it was on Gerald Everett. But I would say that, it's not always quarterback's fault. It's not always the quarterback's fault when they throw an interception. But at the end of the day, Justin Herbert made that decision. And ultimately, even though he gutted out that final drive, absolutely gutted with probably multiple broken ribs. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much confirmed at this point. Both of those guys, man. Justin Herbert definitely showed that he had to, he played with some balls yesterday, man. I don't know personally if I would want my franchise quarterback for the next 2 decades to be out there playing broken ribs for a week 2 game that, don't get me wrong, matters, but in the retrospect of it all, you expect the Chargers and you expect the Chiefs to both be playoff teams. I didn't think it was worth keeping it in there, keeping him in there. But he went back out there and played. That's why I'm not an NFL head coach. But I just felt like there's bigger games in the future, and to put him at risk for a Kansas City game where you were down 2 possessions, which ultimately they did not win anyways, is interesting to say the least. But I would say, based off the game, it was 27-24. The Chargers did not get the onside kick at the end. Justin Herbert went 33 of 48 for 335 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception. Mike Williams getting paid $20 million a year, which I still disagree with. Absolutely made me eat my words yesterday. And had 8 receptions for 113 yards off a 14 catch average and a touchdown. Absolutely was him. Was actually absolutely him yesterday. Mike Williams. I'll let you guys decide if you want to pay a wide receiver $20 million a year. Just no, but hey, that just me. Oh man, those guys had a day. Eckler had a quiet day, 14 for 40, but he also had 55 yards in receiving. So he nearly had a 100-yard day. Chat. Anybody who's listening who's a fantasy football, avid fantasy football player, I doubt he's still available in your leagues, but it may be in 10-man leagues, and maybe he's in the 12-man league. Gerald Everett, 6 receptions for 71 yards. Giving you 13.1 points. For a guy who probably not in the top 200 picks. Of your fantasy draft, man. Go look at him. He might be available in leagues, in deeper leagues, and tight ends are super important in fantasy leagues. And Gerald Everett playing with these guys, Justin Herbert really likes him. And once again, he's one step away from coming back, making that, that's a whole different ball game. He was the same guy that ultimately led to that pick six turnover from Justin Herbert there in the fourth quarter. And let me just tell you, if he gets a touchdown right there, that's another 7 receptions, probably 80 yards, plus a touchdown. You're looking at a 20-plus point game from Gerald Everett as a tight end. So if he's available in leagues, man, please go check him out. But as far as the Chargers, man, I think on paper, as far as star power, I think they're and I know that, you got the Rams in LA, and, don't get me wrong, they have a great team, a great defense. And I know they got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Bobby Wagner, and feel like I'm missing somebody, but they got some pieces. They got some real pieces over there. I might have forgot somebody. I think I did, but I think this Chargers team on paper, and maybe even on the field too, if they weren't paying Patrick Mahomes, I think this is the most star-studded defense that I've ever seen in my brief history of watching the NFL. You got Derwin James, who absolutely, did y'all see him spine buster Travis Kelce last night? Hit him with the Triple H spine buster right there. Derwin James, who was probably the best, whatever he's a safety. I don't know. I think he's just safety. He's everything. Derwin James is him, okay? He is that guy. J.C. Jackson coming from the Patriots, signing for $16.5 a year. Then you got Khalil Mack, who's on the opposite side of Joey Bosa. And I tell you who also had him a game yesterday, Asante Samuel Jr. had him a game. Son of Asante Samuel, former Patriot. We got to shout him out. Although Asante Samuel did drop that interception. But that's for another day. We're not slandering Asante Samuel. His son had a great game yesterday. But, man, I think the Chargers have the most talented, star-studded, the most star-studded and maybe even talented defense I've ever seen. I'm not saying that they're as good as the 01 Ravens, or, I'm not saying they're as good as the 2015 Broncos. I'm not saying they're as good as some of those other defenses who were, maybe not as star-studded but talented. But, man, you'd have to imagine, man, you got 2 guys on the line who can get to the quarterback at will. You have an absolute just man-to-man shutdown corner who J.C. Jackson did get burned yesterday off of that nice out and in. I think his name was Hudson, Ivy League guy from Patrick Mahomes, man. But the Chargers are legitimate for sure, and I give Jedi a lot of crap, but the Chargers, man, if they can get it together, you still got to put the pieces together. You can have all the talent in the world and whatever, and regardless of whatever you do, but you got to put it all together, and they're gonna be legit, man. that's just the Chargers. I haven't even talked about the Chiefs yet, but do I have to? You lose Tyreek Hill, you lose one of the, if not the most explosive players in the league, right? But they're like, hey, you know what? We got Patrick Mahomes, who is pretty damn good, and then you got Travis Kelce, who is pretty damn good, and you got Andy Reid, who's a hell of an offensive mastermind. He's a head coach, and those Chiefs, man, Patrick Mahomes had a slow day, 24 for 35, 235, and 2 touchdowns, which is a solid day at the office, but those aren't Patrick Mahomes numbers, man, and I get it. They aren't Patrick Mahomes number. Receiving-wise, they didn't. Travis Kelce had 51 yards, who was the absolute, which was the most, but, the Chiefs, you look at here at these numbers, man, and They had over 200 yards worth of offense, but excuse me, the guy's name who hit that out and in on J.C. Jackson was Justin Watson. Excuse me, Justin Watson, not Hudson. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 75 yards on the ground, and they kind of just grinded one out, man. And once again, it was a costly turnover that ultimately lost the Chargers that game. But you look at both of these teams, and as long as they can stay healthy, if Justin Herbert, gets back on track, if Patrick Mahomes can, just get right, you would imagine both of these teams would be a Final Four team in the AFC. I mean, both of them. Hot take from me regarding this entire division, which is the greatest division football has ever seen. I don't believe that the AFC West will have 3 playoff teams or even 4. I think 2 teams in the AFC West don't make the playoffs. Now, this might be a bad take, because it's looking like the Chiefs are gonna probably be pretty good again. And looking at the Chargers yesterday, damn, they're pretty damn good too. So it's looking like the Raiders and the Broncos, man, fighting over those spots. But I mean, look, you're playing, the other 3 in the division 6 times, and only one team can win. So some team has to lose. And if the Chiefs aren't going to want to lose, and if the Chargers, who have already beat the Raiders, lost to the Chiefs by 3, and honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, KC fans don't hate me. Not saying Patrick Mahomes couldn't have had a drive, but I want to say there for a second that, I want to say they were up. I want to say the Chargers were up like 17-7 at one point. And then they're sitting there driving the ball down. I'm not saying it was 17-7 with an interception, but I think it was 17-14. But you go up, you score right there, and it's 24-14, a 2-possession game against that Chargers defense. Would have been tough. It would have been tough. So I do believe the Chargers let one slip away at Arrowhead, which is rough, man, because those divisional games matter so much. But both of those teams look really damn good. And so if you're a Chiefs fan, if you're a Chargers fan, barring health, you should be a Final Four team in the AFC. Now, shit can happen. Long season. It's a long season. But, hey, them boys look scary, So, looking forward for us getting spoiled with that Thursday night game. We have our Sunday night game. Or Sunday game, excuse me. I'm keying in on a couple matchups here. We got the Saints versus the Bucks, which Tom Brady has just been awful against the Saints, excluding that playoff win against them. So that's going to be a good matchup. I'm hoping that Tom can get over the hump. I would have loved to go into that game. That's the closest they're going to get, but I couldn't make myself spend $400 on some tickets. Well, I really could have, but my brother didn't want to go, so I didn't have nobody to go with. But shout out to the GOAT, man. I'm probably going to miss him. But some good games, and my Patriots are going against the Steelers, boys. And, I tell y'all what, man. I'm telling y'all what. I'm going to get I know I said last week the Patriots were going to win against the Dolphins, but we're getting this win this week. Mitch Trubisky is not beating Bill Belichick this week. We're going to come back to the podcast on whatever day I decide to, do the next episode, and we're getting this one 1-1. I got Ramondre Stevenson on my fantasy team. It's already been reported that Ty Montgomery's on IR, who is really our pass back, third down back. I'm expecting a big game out of Mac Jones and our running backs, and I'm hoping to see a W. You don't want to start off 0-2. 1-1 is all right. 1-1, you're good. Just want to get that first win is always the toughest one. So, I'm hoping we come with something. We come with some heat, man. I'm excited for the weekend. I'm excited for a good week of football. I just love it. Man. I really just love it. And I'm really, really excited. My fantasy teams weren't looking too good, but we're looking for a bounce back week all around. I'm looking for a big bounce back week, and we're going to make it happen. And I damn sure am excited, you guys. And with that, guys, today, I just want to thank you guys one more time for stopping in with us, spending a couple, about an hour with us, give or take. I hope you guys know how much I appreciate you guys for listening to us, even if it's just for 5 minutes. If it's for 50 minutes, man, whether it's the whole time, I'm just grateful. I've been real grateful to be able to do this and just talk, just talk about stuff that I enjoy, stuff that other people might enjoy. And I'm looking forward to doing this in the future. So once again, to all of you, man, thank you guys so much for being here. And we're going to keep this stuff going, keep this train moving, and just continue to have a great week. So with that being said, hope everybody has a safe Friday night. Hope everybody has a safe weekend. Please be safe. Please make great decisions. And the Bucketz list with Barry will be back soon. I will update you guys on the next episode. I'm currently dealing with some ISP issues that I'm hoping to get solved this weekend. So you will see, and hopefully next time you guys see me doing a podcast, it'll look totally different behind me. You won't even believe it, okay? But with that being said, once again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And shout out to my wife. She's amazing, all right? So I love you guys. Thank you guys. And I hope to see you guys back here soon. So y'all have a wonderful day. And got an outro with the Christian music. Don't forget. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Thank y'all.